If you're trying to set up a PT/PMA in Bali without an office address, you're risking rejection, and here's how the Bali lawyer solves it. Here's the problem. Immigration demands a physical address for your kitas. Virtual offices cost 3 to 5 million rupiah per year but won't pass immigration checks. Use a domicile letter from your rental instead and save 80% on compliance costs. Most foreigners think they can skip the office lease and use a virtual address for their PT/PMA. That works for registration but fails hard when you apply for your work permit. Immigration requires proof of a real operational address tied to your company. A foreign entrepreneur registers her PT/PMA using a co-working space address. 3 months later, her KITA's application gets rejected because the address doesn't match her domicile letter. She loses 15 million rupiah in resubmission fees and delays. This is exactly why we built the Bali lawyer, to handle the address compliance before it kills your visa timeline. Most people fail here. They assume any Bali address works for a PT/PMA. Doesn't. Immigration cross-checks 3 documents: your company registration address, your domicile letter from the village office, and your lease agreement. If those 3 don't align perfectly, your KITAS gets rejected in week 4. Do not use a virtual office address on your Akta Pendirian if you plan to hire yourself as director. With the Bali lawyer, we sync your company address with your actual rental from day 1. Step 1. Secure a long-term rental in Bali with a minimum 12-month lease agreement. Immigration requires proof you'll stay at that address for the full KITAS period. Monthly rentals don't count. Your lease must show your name as the tenant and include the full property address with postal code. The Bali lawyer verifies your lease meets immigration format requirements before we file your PT/PMA articles. This saves you 6 to 8 weeks of back-and-forth rejections. Most notaries skip this check, and you only find out when immigration sends the rejection notice. Step 2. Obtain a domicile letter from your local banjar or village office within 14 days of signing your lease. This document proves you're a legal resident at that address. The letter must be stamped by the village head and include your passport details. This is important because your PT/PMA registered address and your domicile address must match character for character. The Bali lawyer coordinates with the village office to ensure the wording aligns with your company documents. We've seen 40% of DOI applicants get rejected because the village spelled the street name differently than the notary did. Here's the problem most people face. Before applying these steps, your PT/PMA has a virtual office address that looks legitimate on paper, but fails the moment immigration calls to verify. You're stuck resubmitting documents and paying late fees. After using the Bali lawyer's address sync process, your company address, domicile letter, and lease all match perfectly. Immigration approves your KITAS in 30 days instead of 90. Your sponsorship letter goes through on the first attempt and you avoid the 10 million rupiah resubmission loop. Here's the exact wording to use when you request your domicile letter at the village office. Bring your passport, lease agreement, and a translated copy of your PT/PMA deed. Say this to the officer. Saya perlu surat domisili untuk perusahaan sa di alamat ini. Tolong pastikan alamat di surat sama persis dengan perjanjian sewa saya. That translates to, I need a domicile letter for my company at this address. Please make sure the address on the letter matches my lease agreement exactly. This phrase ensures the clerk writes the address the same way your notary did. Hand them your lease and point to the address line. Most clerks will copy it verbatim if you ask clearly. Or skip all this and let the Bali lawyer do it for you. We handle the village office visit, the translation, and the cross-check in 1 day. Use this exact phrase. By Friday I will know if .PMA Bali without office address moved my 1 number. Secure a 12-month lease with your name on it. Get a domicile letter that matches your lease exactly. Let the Bali lawyer sync your PT/PMA address for 2026 compliance. If this helped, smash like, hit subscribe, and visit TheBaliLawyer.com for help setting up your PT/PMA in Bali with 0 address rejections. Visit https://TheBaliLawyer.com.